All right, we're recording. So, let me see. Gary.
Hello. How are you doing, Will?
You know, yeah. So, no, I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm really good. Yeah, it's been a really, really busy month or so with work and stuff. It's all Marchese and more. It's all Marchese and more.
All right, so today we're going to talk about, do you need social media? I've had a sneaking suspicion about something I've heard in a while back about social media when it was important to have a presence as a writer or a creator in general, whatever you're doing. Because if you're an actor, if you're, not to just be writing, you want to have a social media presence to sell your books, and well, that's at least what you believe. And maybe back then it was easier to do that as social media wasn't so big and they haven't put so many digital restrictions on people nowadays, and it's become incendiary, and people have used it as platforms to roast other people and destroy careers and all this other stuff. And while I don't think it's not bad to have this base, I don't think it's necessary to be successful as a writer. On top of that, the fact that the rules change overnight sometimes. So what's good for you a month or a year ago is it certainly won't work next year or the year after.
Yeah. Are you talking like in terms of offence, in terms of what can cause trouble?
Well, what can cause trouble, and just, you go on social media, you're bombarded, and that's put aside, because that's if you just a straightforward posting, like I've gone to just straightforward posting content. My blog posts, our show, I just put it out there because there are genuinely people that do read, and the blog has been taking off a little bit. It's not like to the point where it's viral yet, but it's much more than. But I've also had that for 4 years, and usually that's how blogs go. As you get more content, the back log is read and watched if it's YouTube, and you go on from there, and it's like a snowball effect. So usually these blogs, people expect them to be like this, but they don't go like that. You need time, and you need to, I guess, cultivate that. But with that being said, right, I went online and did a little research about what others are saying about this subject. And if you simply just Google what we're talking about right now, do you need social media, for writing or whatever, you're going to come up with a lot of hits, and some of them are hybrid. Some of them say you should have a social media presence, and some of them say you don't even need it at all. And there's many ways to go about it, of course, making the whole incendiary statements and stuff that people are getting into, you push that aside. If you just straightforward do your thing and comment on things that you genuinely read and like, say nice things about things that, some people I've seen, they post things and they retweet or they like stuff that they never even looked at. And it's just social media, unless you have the fans, it's just a whole bunch of peers. Obviously the publisher or the agent, they're going to want to see that you have a base, they're going to want to see that you're popular, but maybe possible sales and stuff. We've talked about that before. But social media, the algorithm that's happening now is when you post something, it's pushed down so far because you can pay now to have your stuff put into the eyes of people. Those things, people who are paying $5, $10, $25, $30 to boost their posts up, are getting their posts pushed down. So those posts that you get maybe a few views on, you're really not getting any views unless it goes viral. So it's not making any much sense to totally put all your eggs in that basket. You're going to want to do the writing, you're going to want to do the nitty-gritty, sending it out to places that can pay you well or will look at your work and not just say, you know what, I need an extra, whatever in the anthology this month. Plus, when you go on over and over and over again, what you're doing is you get depressed. There's a depression that's involved in this because now you spent that hour that you should have been writing looking at social media and looking at what people are saying. And then if somebody says something bad, that's in your head, and now you're sad, oh my gosh, maybe this is true. When that's one person out of billions, right? Possible billions. Plus, you're speeding your work up because this doesn't go fast. Writing it can go fast, it can, or it can take a month, 2 months, 3 months. I think, just as an example, Joe Hill takes anywhere from 3 months to 6 months to write a short story. So sometimes you can write one overnight, and it's just boom, the ideas are in your head. So I think there's many ways that it can also hinder your creativity, and it tends to suck your energy at times, like what I just said. But especially when you're putting all that time and effort into something that's not going to really pay off better than going and just doing what you're doing and submitting to places and having them judge you and post on your your talent. I mean, what do you think about that?
Wow, it's so many things were kind of passing through my mind there when you were talking. There are so many subjects. It's such a weighty topic, I guess. First thing that kind of comes into mind is it's a people problem, I think, to an extent. It's not necessarily the platforms themselves. I think we have a generation of people, or generations of people, kind of used to going on social media and expecting instant success and instant reaction. And there's kind of this polarization of feelings and instant gratification of what you need on social media. Because as you know, you check social media when you have a message off someone, when someone posts something on Twitter or Facebook and you're kind of involved in it, you get a hit of dopamine, and it kind of makes you feel good about yourself. Combine that with that sort of addictive element of social media, with the highs and the lows that you can get. I follow a soccer team, and you have sort of two camps of people about our current situation, and it's two extremes on either side. Let's kill the manager, let everything go, it'll be okay. It's like this polarization of everything. And I think the problem that we have is there's a generation of people coming through just waiting to be upset by things on social media, and this same generation also expects instant gratification when they go on there. They think they can do things without any work. Because social media, like anything, it's a tool. It's just something that you use. And you can't expect to just put posts up on social media and straight away people are going to start following you. I read a blog post. I can't remember exactly who did it, so I apologise if that person watches this. But this person was saying that treat social media the way you treat real people in real life. So rather than sort of walking into a bar and kind of going, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. You don't go to people. That's not the way you act socially. You don't go to a bar and expect people to throw the money at you. Yeah. You go into a bar, you forge relationships, and then once you forge the relationships, people think, hey, this is a good guy, this is a good girl, and then they're willing to sort of buy your book, and they're willing to recommend your book and review your book. So I think that's a problem. We have a generation of people who think that you can kind of get instant gratification. You can get instant success,
and plus they don't want to move on. Like I was saying before, things change instantly, sometimes overnight, and then when you have that change, everybody else who's still on that old way, they may still be going, but the gear has shifted into the higher gear.
Things that offend and upset people change very, very rapidly as well. You get comedians like vilified for something they said 10 years ago, and they never get work again. Their life's ruined. Because 10 years ago, when it was acceptable to say something, now it's not acceptable to say something. But what this new generation of people waiting to be offended don't seem to realise is times move on and people move on as well, Opinions change. What we used to think back in the 80s, what our parents used to think, what my grandparents used to think, people kind of get clued up. People, we grow with whatever problems or what issues we used to face back then, and we get knowledge,
Or sometimes it's just a matter of they don't like the person, and that person said something that's not jiving with today's, and then they just want to kill them, or at least politically, professionally.
I know what you mean. Not literally, but
and that's the whole thing. And then it gets you into your head. You're thinking about this, and you're like, oh, why am I, I'm doing it all wrong. And then you're gonna mess up your writing and things that you need to concentrate on because someone said something that doesn't even pertain to you, or possibly, it's going to be just buried or something. And the thing is, it's getting so bad on social media, and they're also banning people. Like Chris, he gets into Facebook jail a lot. Now, granted, he says a few things that are a little crazy, but and that's why I also censor a lot of the stuff that could be, because you never know. You never know.
It's the best thing we've ever done. Censor this show, because not that we sit here spewing vile horrible things about people, but because you look back and go, you're sort of almost overly cautious about it. You go back and go, oh, will that upset someone? Will this upset one?
Yeah.
And, you know, you sort of taking away what makes us in a way.
Yeah.
Just to please other people and just to not upset other people. And
yeah. Well, that's why I try to keep it in. I try to just take out the little pieces, so you kind of still get the gist that we're saying something funny.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, you know what they say, hindsight is 20/20, and I always try to keep in, even though I know some things may still be a little iffy. I mean, it's to be honest, and everything that we've put out is like Disneyland. You know, it's like, but. You know, you never know who you're going to offend. So a lot of reasons why writers and artists get depressed. Obviously, there's it could be that they don't see the success that they think they could have had, or stuff like that. But a lot of it, I think, is input from outside sources, and negative mostly. And you just have to keep yourself away from that. You know, if you're a writer, submit, keep writing, keep learning. And submit to places that will pay you, and then go the way down. Because by the time you know that story that you submitted to everywhere, maybe it wasn't so great. So you give it to some place that will take it, let it just go out there, and then you just keep writing stories. I mean, even Joe Hill said that your first 100 stories are going to be dog crap. You know.
Yeah.
So
no, it's true, man.
So we want to know what you think. Do you think that people need social media? Obviously. If there was no social media, how would we be doing this show, right? So you want to get the show out there. But I've seen Dean Koontz, and Dean Koontz just does posts about his dog, his wife, his writing, and that's it. Then you got people like Stephen King post about social, political stuff, and he got burned by the same people that propped him up all this time. So, you know, social media, do you need it? That's the question. Leave the comments below. Gary and I want to know.
Absolutely. I want to know about being offended as well. I'm kind of interested. It kind of goes hand in hand with the social media thing.
Yeah. I've seen some people who are like crazy on social media. They get fired from somewhere, and then there's an uproar. But they really did go a little bit above and beyond with the the cursing and stuff. Yeah. And then they work for like kids companies and stuff. So, you know, it gets a little crazy. And if writing is a very inside thing. You know, it's not like, hey, you have someone that you send your stuff to, and they take a look at it, but you take their opinions, and then you go back and you put yourself back into it. You know, it's not, hey guys, look what I'm doing today. Unless you have a finished show, out, and like how we do these shows, we put it out. We say, hey, you want to watch it? You watch it.
It's a tool. Social media is just a tool. Like, you're not going to make it purely because you post your show on Twitter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You'll make it if your show's good,
and
if it's well produced, and if you put it out, regularly, and so on. You work hard. You don't see that on social media. You don't see the work that goes on in the background of some of these things.
Yeah. But we want to know what you think, and we will
see you next time, mother. What? Bye. Sense the dog. Sense the dog. Sense the dog.
It's hard with Marchese and Paula. It's hard with Marchese and Paula.
Gary, just move a little bit to your right. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Do you need social media? See?
It's a big subject.
But wait. I got a monologue.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay, here we go. Okay. I've had a sneaking suspicion about something at the publisher or the agent, what's that? The actor guild or whatever that you're going for. Yeah, the algorithm to have your stuff gotten put into, right? So those things, people sending out to possible billions. Plus, you're speeding your.
I think anyway. I don't know if you agree or disagree. Well, something you said something like that in your monologue before, but what it made me think of was, well, we grow with we grow with what.
Yeah,
unbelievable. But at the same time, I've managed to get quite a bit of writing done. So I've sort of churned out about 3,000 or 4,000 words in the past 3 or 4 weeks.
Wow.
Which for me is quite quick, quite productive. So yeah, it's going okay. Yeah, it really is.
Same here. I've been doing a lot of writing too.
That's good.
But it's been very busy. So
yeah,
looking for places to send it is kind of hard. Especially when I'm trying to go to places that are a little bit more higher, and I'll tell you why. Like the Horror Writers Association says in their thing. It's not. I'm not just saying, it's something that you want to get paid for your writing. So
absolutely.
So it's kind of hard when you look in those areas.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say on the subject of HWA, I've kind of let mine lapse. I'm going to kind of step out of the HWA for a little while. I contacted them when they sort of prompted me about renewals last month.
Yeah.
I just let them know that I was not renewing this year. Finances don't really permit it. It's quite expensive for something that, aside from the mentor scheme, which has been quite good, I've not really used any of the advantages of the HWA.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just let it lapse for this year and maybe renew next year. So that's where I'm going to kind of take it, I think. I'm not saying I'm not going to come back, but for now, it's a lot of money that I haven't got. So.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a strain, and I have renewed mine, but mine is I think they did some sort of a discount because they just raised it up a little bit. If you get in early, you get a discount or something. But
and these people are just waiting to be upset by things, and it kind of worries me a little bit because we've talked about digital footprints before and your social media footprint and how kind of important it is. Maybe I've said something that in 20 years' time will get me sacked. Even though now it's perfectly acceptable. I was sorry, I'm going to go off a little bit of a tangent. The other day I was kind of walking to work, and I was thinking about offence, people being offended and things like that. And there's been a bit of discussion over here about it on the media, not social media, on the television and radio. And there was a sign, there's a board outside a sandwich shop as I walked past. And the board said something along the lines of, this isn't verbatim, but it said something along the lines of, try tuna mayonnaise baguette. It tastes like heaven, And I walked past and I thought to myself, you know what? In 20 years' time, because of this sort of generation of people just waiting to be upset by things, that'll be an offensive
the heaven thing, right?
The heaven thing. It'll be a religious thing. You can't say heaven. You're not allowed to say that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't say, this baguette tastes like heaven because that has implications, and that'll, if you said that it's just stupid, man. It's just but it can be quite serious as well. The social media side of things. I won't talk too long, but yesterday there was a breaking news over here in England. Where, I don't know. Do you have a program over there called Love Island?
No, sounds like that guy that killed him. What's his name? What's that guy who hung himself with bed sheets?
Oh, I don't know, man. Carradine.
No, the one that he had a whole bunch of political people that you go on Lolita Express.
Oh, yeah.
Epstein,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. But what happened was there's a program over it called Love Island, and it's a really silly show, man. I've never watched it.
Oh, it's a show.
Basically, a bunch of hunks and a bunch of sort of bikini-clad women sort of going on a show, man. I've never watched it.
Oh, it's a show.
Basically, a bunch of hunks and a bunch of sort of bikini-clad women sort of go on an island. And they find love with one another, You know, it's just like a sexual thing, you know, and it's a silly like quiz show, you know, real sort of bottom of the barrel television. But one of the women that used to present it, a woman called Caroline Flack, she had a case with her boyfriend that was in the courts over here where she allegedly hit him with a lamp or something. They'd had about an argument, she threw a lamp at him and he sued her for it. Anyway, because of social media and because of the British press, she was advised not to use social media anymore. But still, you know, there's people piling like very extreme opinions, you know. Have you heard of Piers Morgan?
Yes.
Piers Morgan.
Yes.
Him pushing against her and stuff. And anyway, yesterday she killed herself. She's only 40 years old.
Crap.
It was kind of big news over here, you know, because she's a bit of like a celebrity sort of thing, I suppose. But they found her dead in her flat, and they attribute a lot of it to the British press.
Yeah.
A bit like Princess Diana, you know, they kind of hounded her to death just because of who she was, but it's not quite that extreme.
Yeah. Jesus.
But also because of social media, because of the horrible things people were saying about it. I mean, she already had depression and stuff, but
That's what I'm saying. You know, if you listen to all this stuff and all these opinions and all this stuff, it's just gonna get into your head. It's gonna eat you up, and that's what I was saying about the depression. You know, and then that's why. I mean,